2 spring meals with 1 meal prep: bruschetta chicken and Greek lemon chicken soup. Using the FN Sharp utility knife, let's get into it, starting with a nice heirloom tomato. We're just going to cut these into 1/4-inch slices, then we'll stack them up on top of each other and start slicing through, and then we'll turn them a 1/4 turn and slice again through the cuts we just first made, just making a nice simple dice. For this particular recipe, you actually want to grab a firm or semi-firm tomato to hold up, as this is going to be your bruschetta mix. To add some fresh flavor, we're going to go down with some fresh garlic, fresh basil, and some olive oil, and that'll be our topping for our chicken when it's prepared. Go ahead and take the root off of a garlic clove, slice starting at one end almost all the way down to the other side, then turn it, slice again, now a 180-degree turn, and then slice against those cuts, and you got a little garlic mince. Pick some fresh basil leaves, then go ahead and layer them on top of each other, and then roll tightly like you're rolling a little cigar, and then you're gonna cut across that, and this is a chiffonade. Once you cut these little rings, at the very end you just kind of lightly dance them in your fingertips, and they'll just loosen up into these nice little strips that releases the oil, and it'll give this some nice fragrance, pop of freshness. Make sure to season with salt and pepper, get some olive oil in there, give it a good mix, and let that sit for a few minutes. Set it off to the side until your chicken is ready. We will finish this dish with a little bit of balsamic glaze, which is just balsamic vinegar that's been reduced. Gets all sugary and tacky and sticky and sweet. It's absolutely fantastic. If you don't have any, you can actually take some of your very thin balsamic vinegar and just simply let it go at a simmer until it's nice and reduced. Now we'll get into some carrots, just cutting them lengthwise. I'm gonna make 4 quarters here, and then we'll go ahead and give that a rough chop, which is actually almost like a little dice. And then on the other bits of the carrot, we'll just slice at an angle, because remember, we're doing 2 dishes in 1 meal prep. I'm gonna dice up an onion here. You can do white onion, sweet onion, it's totally up to you. And then we'll have some fresh dill in the back there. We'll grab that and give that a rough chop. This is gonna go in to the Greek lemon soup towards the end to give it some vibrancy. Take your chicken breast and make sure to just cut off any unsightly bits. Typically it's off to either side and at the top or the bottom of the chicken breast as well. Get that all cleaned up and ready to go into a Dutch oven. I'm going down with a little oil, some carrots and onions, and cooking till they're just soft, then adding in some bay leaves and chicken stock. Then we'll get our raw chicken breast in there, and we're gonna cover it and let it simmer for about 20 minutes till that chicken breast is cooked. And then in the meantime, we're gonna work on the other chicken breast for the second dish, that bruschetta chicken. So now what I'm doing is butterflying this. I'm simply cutting this all the way down, halfway through, and you'll get 2 nice chicken cutlets that way. They're quicker to cook this way, and then you don't have to hack up your chicken breast to make sure that they're cooked to proper temperature, especially if you don't have a thermometer. Into a nice hot pan, little salt and pepper for seasoning on there. Now I'm just slicing up some fresh mozzarella. We'll set this aside until everything is ready, and then just as everything's browned nicely on those chicken breasts, we'll add the fresh mozz right on top. We'll add those angled cuts, those diagonally cut carrots into the pan till they get all nice and browned. In with some orzo. You're gonna go about 3/4 of a cup in there, and again, let that simmer for a while. You're gonna shred the chicken that was cooking in there, add that to it. Now I got some egg yolk with lemon juice. Gonna give that a quick mix, and this is called tempering, by just slowly adding a little bit of that broth, so that way your eggs don't scramble. A little bit at a time, continue to whisk, and then you can take your lemon, egg, and broth mixture and go right into that pot of soup. This will give it a nice silkiness. And then don't forget that fresh dill. We're gonna add that in right at the end and just let that continue to cook for just a couple more minutes, and you are all set to enjoy. You can package these up into containers, maybe for either dinners or your lunches throughout the week. And back to that bruschetta chicken that we had laid that mozz on, I actually put a lid on it to have that cheese melt just so slightly, and then we'll add the carrots off to the side, and you got great meals for the week. Enjoy, and make sure to check out fnsharp.com for more.